From Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia with AstroTurf, Liberty Bells, and all the goodness that brings. This is Kurt Berglund with Payoff Pitch Dream Season Baseball. We're up to Game 4 in an 18-game mini replay of some of my favorite teams of all time. And we're going to be spending today and tomorrow and maybe even the next day working on this 3-game series with huge importance to the National League standings. I'm not going to spoil yesterday's sports page for you, but if you haven't seen it, check out sports page number 3 on my YouTube channel. But I will tell you that the 1969 Mets are in first place. I won't tell you if they're tied with anybody, but they have a perfect 3-0 record. Yesterday, they were behind 2-1 in Game 3 to the 1977 Los Angeles Dodgers opening series action. Unfortunately, not on my channel, but is described in some detail in the sports page report that I posted yesterday. And in the bottom of the ninth, Tommy Agee hit a 3-run home run to save the Mets game. It's a walk-off winner and send the 1977 Dodgers to the 3rd straight defeat in that opening series and keep the 1969 Mets tied for first place. The 1983 Phillies, on the other hand, lost yesterday. Again, detailed for you in sports page number 3 on my YouTube channel, but they are in second place, tied for second actually, in the National League race. And so this is a battle between first and second place ball clubs. Right now, there are 15 games to go in the season, and these clubs are separated near the top of the action or at the top of the action by 1 game. So this is a big series. They will not meet again unless there's a playoff series after this 3-game series. So this is it. We're in Philadelphia for 3 games. The opposing pitchers today for the visiting, the visiting Vapors, for the visiting New York Mets, it's Don Cardwell, an 8-10 pitcher with a 3.01 earned run average in 21 starts in 1969. He pitched 152 innings for the team that season. He was a veteran at this point in his career and a respected one in the National League. He'll be opposed by the Phillies' Kevin Gross. 17 starts for Kevin on the 1983 season. He was 4-6 with a 356 earned run average. He pitched 96 innings in the season. So a pair of right-handers dueling. Tomorrow it's Seaver and Carlton, and the next day, if we show it on the channel, it will be John Denny against Jerry Koosman. So, with that said, let's go through the batting orders for tonight's game. Leading off in center field, yesterday's hero for the Mets, Tommy Agee. Batting second at third base, Wayne Garrett. Batting third in left field, Cleon Jones. Batting fourth in right field, Art Shamsky. Batting fifth at second base, Ken Boswell. Batting sixth at first base, Ed Kranepool. Batting seventh and doing the catching, Jerry Grody. Batting 8th at shortstop, Bud Harrelson, and batting 9th and on the mound, Don Cardwell. For the Phillies, leading off at second base, Joe Morgan. Batting second at first base, Pete Rose. Batting third at third base, Mike Schmidt. Batting fourth in left field, it's Gary Matthews. Batting fifth in right field, it's Joe LaFay. Batting sixth in center field, Gary Maddox. Batting seventh and doing the catching, Bo Diaz. And batting 8th and playing shortstop, Ivan DeJesus. Kevin Gross bats 9th and does the pitching. And I believe we are ready to go in this one. Big game, a big series. And so let's get this thing going. Today and tomorrow with these two teams at least. Maybe the next 3 days. We'll see. All right, Tommy A.G. stands in against Gross. The pitch from Kevin is grounded to short. Ivan DeJesus gloves it and throws to Pete Rose, and that's one gone in the Mets first. Wayne Garrett stands in. Wayne hit .218 against righties in 1969. And he strikes out against Gross on a big old breaking ball from the big righty. That's two gone in the first. And Cleon Jones, probably, possibly, could be the Mets MVP in 69, although there's a few candidates for that. Cleon hit .340 against right-handed pitching. This is hit in the air to center field, and Gary Maddox will make the play. That retires the Mets. 1-2-3 in the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first, and we're scoreless in Philly. Coming up for the Phillies in the bottom of the first, it'll be Morgan, Rose, and Schmidt. As you can tell, this was a very experienced, and I'm saying that charitably, Phillies lineup in 1983. Joe Morgan leads off and hit .237, but the big number was a .376 on base average against right-handers on the season. Pitch to Joe is ground ball to second base. Ken Boswell will field this one and throw to Crane Pool for out number one. Pete Rose stands in. It's interesting that the Big Red Machine order of Rose and then Morgan got flipped in 1983 to Morgan and then Rose. Pitch to Pete. Ground ball shortstop, Bud Harrelson. And, of course, they became nemesis in the 1973 NLCS. But Bud throws to first base to Crane Pool, and that retires Pete Rose. And with two outs, it's Schmidt. .255 on the season for Michael Jack Schmidt. And this is a comebacker that Cardwell will glove and flip to Crane Pool. And we have a pair of 1-2-3 innings in the first. We go to the second with no score in Philly. For the Mets in the second, it'll be Shamsky, Boswell, and Crane Pool. Sounds a little bit like a law firm. A trio of left-handed batters. Pitch from Gross. Is grounded to third and gloved by Schmidt, close to the line. He's going to make the throw across to Rose, and that will retire Shamsky for the first out of the second inning. Now we have Ken Boswell, second baseman for the Mets. .290 in 1969 for Ken. This is lifted in the air to right field. LaFay, bad knees and all, limps over toward the line and will make the catch. That's two gone. And Crane Pool with nobody on, .255 for Ed in 69. Ground ball shortstop. This is DeJesus, who will throw to Rose, and that will retire the Mets in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. We're going to be Matthews, LaFay, and Maddox for Philly against veteran Don Cardwell for the Mets. Against the 77 Dodgers in the last series, three-gamer, the Mets only gave the Dodgers 2 runs in 27 innings. And as soon as I say that, Gary Matthews lines a base hit to center field, taking Cardwell right up the middle. And the Phillies have a man aboard. LaFay Fay stands in, 333 on the season versus righties with a 592 slugging percentage. Cardwell needs to be careful, but he is a double play target if they can get him to hit it on the carpet. And they did. Ground ball, Harrelson. Bud scoops it, picks, and throws to Boswell for one. Boswell to Cranepool for the soul-crushing, rally-killing double play that will leave the Phillies with nobody aboard, and Gary Maddox coming to the plate in the bottom of the second. Gary hit .253, and I guess we could say on the downward slide in 1983. But I have a hard time taking him out of the lineup. Hitting the air to center field, this is Agee, who will make the play, and we have played 2 in Philly with no score. For the Mets in the top of the third, it'll be the bottom third of their order. Grody, Harrelson, and Don Cardwell coming up. Alrighty. Here's Jerry Grody, the Mets catcher, 260 with a 312 on base average in 1969. The pitch from Gross is grounded to second base. Joe Morgan will grab this one and retire Grody. That's 7 in a row for Gross to start this game. Bud Harrelson stands in, the switch hitting shortstop of the Mets, 268 against righties. And Bud lines it, but at DeJesus, that will be 2 gone in the third for the Mets. And now here comes one Mr. Cardwell. They struck him out for Gross's second strikeout of the game, and that completes 3 up and 3 down innings for the Phillies hurler. Go to the bottom of the third. It'll be Diaz, DeJesus, and Gross for the Phillies. Bo Diaz, the Phillies catcher, hit .238 against righties on the season. The pitch from Cardwell is grounded to Boswell, and Dick Schaap wrote all sorts of nasty things about Ken Boswell's glove. Okay, Boswell is a 1, so this is an error, and it is a 1 base error on Ken Boswell. Diaz will reach, speaking of bad knees, Diaz will reach on the error, and that will bring up Ivan DeJesus. Ivan, 237 on the season for the Phillies shortstop. And this is lined a base hit for DeJesus into left field. Diaz will get to second and stop there. There are 2 men aboard now with nobody out for Gross, the Phillies pitcher, coming to the plate. Kevin is a good bunter. We'll see if they ask him to lay it down. Cardwell to the belt. The pitch home. He is bunting. And he gets it down just in front of the plate, chopped on the dirt. Grody on it will fire to first base to Boswell, covering, and that will advance Diaz to third and DeJesus to second with 1 man out. In the bottom of the third, Joe Morgan has men in scoring position to bring home against Cardwell. Gil Hodges wants the Mets defense at normal depth here in the bottom of the third. Cardwell to the belt. He checks Diaz at third. He checks to Jesus at second. The pitch home to Morgan. And it's a hanger. Cardwell hangs it. It's a curve. He hung it, and it's deep to right. Art Shamsky drifting back towards the wall, towards the wall, towards the wall. It's gone, and Joe Morgan has left the building. So has Elvis. It is 3-0 Phillies in the bottom of the third on a Joe Morgan 3-run dong. Philly fans love this start, and Cardwell frustrated with himself in one swing. Morgan brought home more runs for the Phillies than the Dodgers were able to plate in 3 games. Pete Rose with one man out, and he's 0 for 1 today. Cardwell, the pitch. Another comebacker. Cardwell gloves it. And he will flip to Harrelson, or to Cranepool, and that's 2 gone. In the bottom of the third, Schmidt, 40 homers in 1983. The pitch to him, lifted in the air to left, but not deep. Cleon Jones is going to make this play, and that will retire the Phillies in the third, but Joe Morgan brings home 3 on a 3-run dong. We go to the fourth. It's Phillies 3, Mets nothing. And it's the top of the order for the Mets. Agee, Garrett, and Cleon Jones. See what they can do the second time up against Gross. Agee, everybody's 0 for 1. It's a perfect 9 in a row so far for Kevin. Popped him up. Pete Rose just barely into fair territory will take this one and retire Agee. Here comes Garrett, left-handed batting third baseman. It's part of 4 platoons that Gil Hodges frequently made use of in the 1969 season. Garrett's 0 for 1. And he draws a walk to break Gross's string of 10 in a row, and he's aboard with Cleon Jones coming up. Gross to the belt for the first time, checks Garrett at first, the pitch home to Cleon. Is a hanger of his own. He hung the curve. And lines a base hit to left. Garrett will stop at second, and with one man out, there's 2 men on for Art Shamsky. Mets bring the tying run to the plate right away as Gross allows his first hit in the top of the fourth, excuse me. So we got some tension here. Philly fan is not liking what he's seeing. Alrighty. Pitch to Art. He strikes him out on a hook. 2 gone in the fourth for Boswell now. Last chance for the Mets to bring home a run in this inning. 2 on, 2 out. Gross to the belt, checks the runners. The pitch home to Kenny. Lifted in the air to left. Gary Matthews drifting toward the line, but he seems to have room. He does have room, and that will retire the Mets in the fourth. Go to the bottom of the fourth. Phillies 3, Mets nothing. Cardwell coming back out, and it'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Philly. Matthews, LaFay, and Maddox coming up. Sarge is 1 for 1. And he drills it inside the line, past Garrett, down into the corner. Jones is going to have to go get it. It's a leadoff double for Matthews here in the bottom of the 4th. Joe LaFay, 0 for 1. Grounded into a twin killing back in the 2nd. Cardwell's pitch. Hey, struck him out. That's number 1 for Cardwell, and he picked a good time to do it. Maddox comes up now with a man in scoring position and 1 out. 0 for 1 for Gary on the day. A comebacker gloved by Cardwell. He checks Matthews at second and throws to first, and that's 2 gone. Now Diaz up. They could walk him and go after DeJesus. Bo reached on an error last inning and scored a run. They're not walking him. The pitch. The pitch is a fastball that Diaz loves. It's a base hit to center field. That will score Matthews as AG throws it to the cutoff man, and Diaz brings home the 4th Phillies run. That's going to get action up in the Mets bullpen. Somebody named Nolan Ryan, I don't know who that is, but he's warming up in the pen. And Ivan DeJesus, who is 1 for 1 with a run scored, is at the plate. It's another fastball, and DeJesus loves this one. It's hit deep, way back to left field. Jones to the wall, and it's gone. DeJesus, Ivan DeJesus, who hit 4 home runs in 497 at-bats in 1983, just has left the building. So has Elvis. It's now 6-0, and Gil Hodges is not liking this. That's going to do it for Cardwell. Not sure Ryan is really ready, but he's getting the call. Hodges taking a long, slow walk out to the mound. 6-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the 4th. Nolan Ryan on to make his first appearance of the season. 25 games, 10 starts in 69 for Nolan. He went 6-3 with a .353 earned run average, 89 and a third innings pitched. He also had a save and, of course, some big innings in the 69 World Series. So with a 6-0 lead, Kevin Gross will come to the plate with 2 men out in the bottom of the 4th, and Ryan's job is to hold them where they're at. Pitch to Kevin Gross. And Ryan walks him. Ryan walks the leadoff batter, Gross. And that'll bring up Morgan with 2 outs and a man on first. This is popped up towards Wayne Garrett. On the foul line, will make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning, and Ryan stops the bleeding, but not before. The Phillies add another 3 runs and take a 6-0 lead in this very, very important Game 1 of the series. Kevin Gross back out on the mound for the top of the 5th. It'll be Cranepool, Grody, and Harrelson to face him. And this is hit in the air to center. Gary Maddox with room puts it away for out number 1. Jerry Grody, 0 for 1 today. And he lines a base hit. He's going the other way to right field. Takes that breaking pitch into right field, and there's one aboard for Harrelson with Nolan Ryan on deck. Will they let Nolan Ryan bat is a good question. Might depend upon Harrelson. The pitch to Bud. And Gross hangs one. Can Harrelson do anything with it? It's grounded to Morgan, who flips to DeJesus for one, and that's all they're going to get. And Harrelson beats the rap at first base. So with 2 outs and a man on first, it's Ryan coming to the plate, and that means he's going to bat. So with 2 outs in the 5th, Ryan bats for the first time. He pops it up, and Pete Rose will happily take this one and spike the ball onto the AstroTurf. The Mets are retired in the 5th. The Phillies are coming to bat. We've played halfway, and it's 6-0 Phillies in this one. In the bottom of the 5th, it's Rose, Schmidt, and Matthews due for Philly. Ground ball second. This is Boswell. He will throw to first, and that's 1 down. Schmidt. He strikes him out on some Nolan Ryan gas. And with 2 men out and nobody on, it's Gary Matthews. Gary's 2 for 2 today. And this is grounded to second. That's that's Ken Boswell, who will throw to Cranepool and retire the Phillies in the 5th. We go to the 6th. 83 Phillies 6, 69 Mets nothing. And Kevin Gross throwing a 2-hit shutout to this point. AG is 0 for 2. It's the top of the Mets order in the 6th. AG, Garrett, and Jones. And it's a hanger. Another hanger. And Tommy hits this one to center. That's going to send Maddox back to the track, to the wall, and it's gone. The Mets are on the board. Elvis has left the building. So has Tommy Agee, and it is 6-1. Phillies. Is Gross nearing the end? Garrett, not dying, but you know what I mean. Garrett's 0 for 1 with a walk and a whiff. The pitch to him is line to left. A base hit for Garrett, and the Mets have a man on. That's going to get action in the Philadelphia bullpen. They're not messing around. It's going to be... Who is it going to be? It's going to be Marty Bystrom warming up in the Phillies bullpen. And Cleon Jones, who's 1 for 2 today, standing in against Gross. Pitch to Cleon. Is hit on the ground to second. This is Morgan. Morgan to DeJesus for 1. Back to Rose for the soul-crushing, rally-killing double play. And there's nobody on with 2 men out now for Shamsky. 0 for 2 on the day for Art. And he sends a 3-hopper to DeJesus. This will go to Rose for out number 3. And another spike for Pete. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Mets do score 1, get on the board. It's now Philadelphia 6, New York 1. And Ryan is back out He has retired 4 in a row. Gary Matthews is not up. It's Joe LaFay, Gary Maddox, and Bo Diaz for Philly in the 6th. Lifted in the air to right. Shamsky has room and will make the play. That's 1 gone. Maddox 0 for 2. Phillies center fielder. Lines a base hit. Takes him right back up the middle like you're supposed to. He's aboard with a single, and Bo Diaz comes to the plate. Bo is 1 for 2, but he has scored twice and driven in a run, but is a double play target if Nolan Ryan can get him to hit it on the ground. Ground ball short. Harrelson to Boswell for 1, to Cranepool for 2. We have another double play. This is the first one for the Mets, no, second one for the Mets in this game. The Phillies also have one of their own, but that will end the inning as the Phillies fail to score. We go to the 7th with the score. Philadelphia 6, New York 1, and Kevin Gross coming back out. Marty Bystrom still in the bullpen. Ken Boswell leads off. Then it's Cranepool and Grody for New York. And this is a rare play. And we have a rain delay. We have a rain delay in Philadelphia. Let's see what happens here. And we're okay. We're all right. So, Boswell's still in there. Gross still on the mound. They're going to play through the rain. And Ken is 0 for 2 on the day. Hit in the air to center. This is Maddox. And there's 1 down. Cranepool is 0 for 2. He's up now. And he loops a base hit right in front of Matthews into left field. The Mets have something going here in the 7th with Grody due. Paul Owens, manager of the Phillies, on the top step of the dugout, watching Gross carefully. Bystrom is ready if they need him. This is hit in the air to right. LaFay coming in a few steps and will make the catch. 2 gone. And now Bud Harrelson with Ryan on deck. Bud is 0 for 2. Gay strikes him out on a fastball. That will retire the Mets in the 7th. It's time to stretch him out. Gross may be done for the day. We'll have to see. Ryan is done for the day. We're going to have a double switch for New York. As Cal Kuntz is going to come on here in the 7th. And Don Clendenon will be the new first baseman. Clendenon will bat in the 9th spot. Kuntz will bat in Cranepool's spot in the order, which is number 6. And we'll see what happens now with Gross. DeJesus will lead off. It's DeJesus, Gross, and Morgan scheduled here in the 7th. DeJesus is 2 for 2 with a 2-run dong that he hit in the 4th. This is grounded to short. Harrelson's got it. He will throw to Clendenon for the out, and there's one man gone in the 7th. The Phillies are going to pinch hit for Gross. That will end his day. I'll give you his numbers in just a moment. Bobby Dernier is going to pinch hit for the Phillies pitcher. Let's talk for a minute about Gross. He pitched 7 complete innings. He surrendered 5 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 4. He allowed one run. It was earned, and 1 home run. He is in line to be the winner if the score holds. Dernier is a .250 hitter against righties, which Kuntz is. I didn't tell you about Cal. Cal is a 40-game guy from 1969. He pitched 83 innings. He saved 7 games with a 6-3 record and a 4.99 ERA. Dernier, with 1 out, steps in against Kuntz and pulls a base hit to left. Bobby Dernier's on, and now he is capable of creating some havoc on the bases. Let's see if they want to send him. Grody can throw. Morgan at the plate with Dernier at first. He's working on his lead. The pitch to Joe from Kuntz. Dernier not going. And it's a hanger from Kuntz. And it's drilled a base hit. This is... to center field. AG gloves it. Dernier is around second. He will try for third. And we're going to have a play at third. AG makes the throw. It is to Garrett. And Garrett drops the ball. Dernier is safe at third. Morgan at first. And the Phillies have men at the corners for Rose with Kuntz on the mound. So there's 1 out. Dernier at third. Morgan at first. Rose is up. And he's 0 for 3 on the day. The Mets infield will play in to try and choke off the run. Dernier works on his lead off third. Kuntz to the belt. Checks Morgan at first. The pitch home to Rose. And it's a suicide squeeze. Here comes Dernier coming home. He is safe. And all Grody can do is throw to Boswell at first. And the suicide squeeze works to perfection, with Dernier scoring ahead of Rose's squeeze bunt. Morgan is safe at second. There are now 2 men out, and the Mets are not looking happy in their dugout. They are now down 7-1, and the Phillies just executed a squeeze bunt up by 5 late in the game. Ooh, the blood is not going to be good here. But they went for it and they got it. Schmidt at the plate, 0 for 3 with Morgan at second. Kuntz wants no part of him. They're going to walk Schmidt and pitch to Gary Matthews. Sarge is 2 for 3 on the day, but he's not Mike Schmidt. Kuntz to the belt, checks Morgan at second, checks Schmidt at first. The pitch to Matthews is lined a base hit to center. That is going to score Morgan. That is going to hold Schmidt at second, and the romp is on. It's now 8-1 Phillies. LaFay coming to the plate. Jim McAndrew is warming up in the bullpen for the Mets. But this has gone from bad to ugly, and LaFay is 0 for 3 with a strikeout on the day and a double play ball. Schmidt is at second, Matthews is at first. There's still 2 men out. And he walked LaFay. The bases are now loaded for Maddox with 2 outs. Maddox coming to the plate. The bases are dripping, full of Phillies. Schmidt at third, Matthews at second, LaFay at first. Kuntz to the belt, the pitch to Gary. Hit in the air to right, Shamsky back to the track, and he's going to make the catch. Not a smooth inning for Kuntz. The Phillies are done in the 7th, however, and they add 2 to their lead. It's now Philadelphia 8, New York 1, and we're going to have some defensive changes going on. The new right fielder for LaFay, no, he's coming back out. That's not enough of a change. The new right field, no, they're not going to do that. But Bobby Dernier is going to go to left field for Matthews. Sarge is out. Ed Farmer is going to be the new pitcher for Philadelphia. Ed Farmer, former White Sox, former Tiger, former Indian. I'm missing a few. Former Brewer. I'm still missing a few. 12 games for the 83 Phillies. 0-6 with a 6.08 earned run average. 26 2/3 innings pitched. And I want you to say it with me. He's mopping up. All right. So, Farmer is on. He will face Clendenon, who joined the circus of this game last inning on the double switch that brought Kuntz into the game. Mets are down 7, playing for pride. This is Clendenon's first at-bat of the evening. Alrighty. Pitch from Farmer is lined to left, a base hit. Clendenon's aboard. It's going to be interesting to see how much rope they give Farmer, who was at the end in 1983. Agee steps to the plate. Tommy 1 for 3 with a solo homer. He is the Mets' only run in this game. Hey, struck him out. Farmer gets him on a high fastball. There's 1 man out. Garrett coming to the plate. Wayne 1 for 2 with a walk on the day. He strikes him out. Second strikeout for Farmer. 2 gone, and Cleon Jones coming up. Cleon's 1 for 3. This is grounded to short. That's to Jesus. Okay. That's to Jesus. And that is an error. He boots it. Jones will be safe with a one-base error by DeJesus. Clendenin will stop at second. There are two on with two out for Shamsky now. Up for the Mets, Art is 0 for 3 on the day. The pitch from Farmer, and he walks him. The bases are loaded, full of Mets in the 8th with Ken Boswell due up. He's 0 for 3 on the day. There's two outs. It's Clendenin at third, Jones at second, Shamsky at first, Farmer to the belt. The pitch to Boswell. Hey, strikes him out, so it's an ugly inning for Farmer, but he allows no runs and strikes out the side. After 7 1/2 innings, it's Philadelphia 8, New York 1. And it's going to be a new New York pitcher. Jim McAndrew is going to get an inning of work. In the bottom of the 8th, he will face Diaz, DeJesus, and Dernier because the Phillies love alliteration. Alrighty. So, Bo is 1 for 3. Couple of runs scored. A ribby. He's had a nice game. Pitch from McAndrew. He draws a walk. As good as the Mets have pitched against the Dodgers, they have pitched terribly here in this game. DeJesus, 2 for 3. He walks DeJesus. Gil Hodges, having trouble stomaching all of this, is now getting Tug McGraw up in the bullpen. And it's going to be Dernier with nobody out and 2 men on via the walk. He hung it. Dernier swings. This is grounded to short. Knocked down by Harrelson. He goes to Boswell for 1, to Clendenin for 2, and a hot shot turns into a twin killing. Bo Diaz makes it to third base safely, and Joe Morgan will come up. 2 outs. Diaz at third. McAndrew to the belt. Check Diaz. The pitch home to Morgan. Hit in the air to center. Agee over into right center. Will get there and make the catch. That'll retire the Phillies in the 8th. We go to the 9th. In Philadelphia, it's the 83 Phillies 8, the 69 Mets 1, and it'll be McAndrew or a surrogate, and then Grody and then Harrelson scheduled against Ed Farmer out for his second inning of work. And it's going to be J.C. Martin leading off for the Mets against Farmer in the 9th. J.C. 206 on the season. This is hit to center. Maddox on the run. cannot get there. It's a base hit for Martin, and the Mets might have something going in the ninth. Grody, 1 for 3. Martin at first. Farmer to the belt. The pitch to Grody. Hey, strikes him out. Farmer's got all strikeouts so far. Bud Harrelson's 0 for 3. Clendenon is on deck. Pitch to Bud. Hit in the air to center. Maddox coming in. 3, 4 steps, 5 steps, and he'll make the catch. 2 gone in the ninth. With Martin returning to first base, it's Clendenon at the plate. 1 for 1 for Don on the day. Farmer to the belt. The pitch home to Clendenon. Hit in the air to right. LaFay back, but playable. And he retires the Mets in the ninth. The Phillies walk away an 8-1 winner. Let's go through the details for you for the victorious 1983 Philadelphia Phillies. 8 runs on 10 hits, and they committed 1 error. For the vanquished 1969 Mets, 1 run on 7 hits, and they committed 1 error. Key stat in the ball game, the 1969 Mets walked 4 men and one more intentionally, and that added to the carnage. The winning pitcher is Kevin Gross, who is 1-0, of course, in his first start of the season. The loser is Don Cardwell, who is 0-1 on the season. Ed Farmer gets nothing for his efforts, except some exercise. That will conclude today's game. That means that the Mets are now 3-1, and so are the Phillies. That means tomorrow's game, featuring Tom Seaver for the 69 Mets and Steve Carlton for the 83 Phillies, gets bigger yet, and makes it more likely that we will carry Game 3 of this series with Denny going against Koosman, but we'll see how that shakes out. I want to thank you so much for joining me and paying attention, following along with the Dream Season Payoff Pitch Baseball. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I do appreciate your participation with comments and likes and subscribes and all that good stuff. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a good day. My name's Kurt Berglund. So long, everybody.